Welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the Testament of Moses, chapters 6 through 12. And before we get into it, 100 points show. What is your 100 points question,
Jesus
Lawrence?
Christ. What? Hold on. What year is this?
This is 2019.
Oh my God.
And we're doing the 100 points show. For 100 points, Lawrence, what are the last names of the brothers who created RuneScape?
Timmy and Jimmy.
No.
Damn.
The Gower brothers.
Well, what are their... Oh, you said last name.
Yeah,
Right.
last name.
Okay.
Yeah, Timmy and Jimmy.
Yeah, Timmy and
word.
Jimmy.
One word.
The dude is Andrew Gower. He's, they fucked up bad.
Aww.
They thought that when they sold RuneScape, because they were the creators, they would still have decision-making abilities with the game. They were completely naive.
Why would
they
they
had
think
no
that?
idea how the business world
Someone
works.
else owns it. It's someone else's now.
Yeah.
You sell a house, you don't get
They
to...
thought they would have like some input on the story. You know, like how George Lucas sold Star Wars, and then he's like, "Oh, geez, guys, they just keep on ruining all of my ideas, and
Right, yeah.
it's no good. It
That is
doesn't
what
rhyme.
I've heard
It's not
people
like
say, yeah.
poetry, right?"
Yeah, what did you think would happen, George?
Mhm.
You,
Okay, what's your 100-point question?
Oh, well, you see, I didn't actually have... Okay, so actually, you know what? Maybe you didn't notice this. What is the name of the band that I've been obsessed with for the past 2 or 3 days?
I don't even know.
Well, that's
Names.
obvious, Lawrence.
Is
Bad
it?
at names.
Hailstorm.
Okay.
Because you're always obsessed
yeah,
with
nice
Hailstorm.
one, nice one. The answer is Nanowar of Steel.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And a war
remember
of
that.
steel.
Yeah, but see, you're getting all the references now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's something. Okay, so with the 100-point show
Yeah,
out of
just
the way,
ignore me.
I'm gonna posit that Chris has a 100-point question.
No, I don't.
No, Chris has a 1-point question. What's your 1-point question, Chris?
On the off chance that someone would know what layer of the abyss we're on, I'd like to know.
666.
Okay.
Close enough. Close enough.
It's actually 616, but
Also, in case anyone was worried, no COVID.
No.
We all
My dad's quarantined. My house is big enough that we can be in this studio where no one has been for an entire week, by the way.
Oh yeah. We wanted to make sure that no one was
Yeah. And then he's in his own space and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've been here all week.
all tests have been shown up negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I'm worried for him, but he's fine. He keeps getting better every day.
Yeah. I'm glad he's feeling better.
so I have
You saw him. Did you even think he was sick?
I mean, he seemed all right.
Yeah, he seems fine now.
But he's testing positive still, so we got to
Right,
keep him
yeah.
quarantined.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have a new argument.
4.
I think that all Christians who are not biblical literalists are actually atheists.
They're actually atheists.
Yep, they just don't want to admit it.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
That's my shot in the dark.
They know it in their heart,
Mm.
right?
Like, because they know that they don't believe in this.
Yeah. So obviously, they're all atheists.
Because they're not literalists. If they believed in this, they would be literalists.
And also, they'd have they would be logically okay with having an innumerable amount of voices in their head because that happens in this book a ton.
Yes, it does. But
And hallucinations.
also,
and
Eric Wander.
Thank you. For
Yeah.
For
3
the
months.
3 months, and you know what? I think that means he gets a badge upgraded. You know what? If you are not a member, I think we still have the picture up. We can
sure,
show
I
that.
can show that.
Yeah. So we have
right?
a whole lot of badges here for was it 8 or 9 badges?
right.
Yeah.
Here they are.
So if you become a member, you get those badges depending on how long you are a member for.
But more importantly, you get the warm and fuzzy feeling of knowing that you are supporting Lawrence.
Yes, Lawrence.
Yeah, you'll get that feeling.
Pretty much.
The,
You're supporting Lawrence.
That's the other two people
You're
don't
you're
care.
making sure that he can eat borscht one more day.
which is all a growing Russian boy needs.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, I wish that
Say
were
something
true.
in Russian about how great borscht is.
Meaning that I was borscht.
Oh, somebody else did
Do
something.
you know what I said?
No, I have no idea what you said.
I said I don't like it. I don't like borscht.
No, you have to go like
No.
da borscht, super good.
Wow.
Would they even say that? Good is super. Yeah.
Wow.
Da.
That was horrendous. Chuck-o-matic.
Thank you.
Welcome in to your badge.
Yes.
Welcome in
Yes.
to the membership.
My
thank
wish
you so
is
much.
your command.
I've got words.
We have a genie.
This place is dope.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the genie?
So we're reading out of what?
Yeah.
What book are we reading?
This.
Is that the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha?
It is. It's volume 1, Apocalyptic Literature and Testaments. And
Edited by
James H.
Charlesworth.
Yep. And the section on the Testament of Moses was, this is a translation and introduction by
Oh,
Jay
jeez.
Priest.
What the hell happened to the backgrounds on those emotes?
What? Those
Look
aren't
at-
emotes. Those have always been there. The backgrounds on the emotes have always been there.
Oh, really? We didn't fix that?
Fix what? We pulled them from the internet.
We didn't.
Those are temporary still.
Right.
We are
Jeez.
still working on those.
Right. Those were.
You know, nobody's posted in so long. I legitimately forgot that we didn't have transparent backgrounds on the emojis.
Yeah. The only one we have a transparent background on is the B one.
'Cause
Yeah.
That would
was
be
before-
such an easy fix.
It
All
would
you
be.
have to do is like put it in the program
My
and
man,
click white to
I
transparent.
am far lazier
Sure,
than
yeah.
you, apparently.
I understand that, but also, yeah, those were like when we just started the membership thing. We were
Yes.
just trying it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, we'll have to get a new Oh Hands one. That's for sure. The other ones are temporary, but we need to keep the Oh Hands emote.
And get a better one.
Well, it would be a different one. It would not be this one, but we need an Oh Hands emote.
Okay, we need
Understand.
hands that are holding the letter O.
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, that's O hands.
Yeah.
I like the gaudy cross thing. It's ridiculous. It's just too much.
It is quite a lot,
Yeah.
and I don't. When would that be useful?
Right now.
No,
Oh.
we could also do like the Kabbalistic tree of life diagram.
We could, yeah. We could.
And we could do what else? What kind of crazy shit is there? Like the seal of Solomon.
We could do a bunch of seals. That's
Yeah.
right. We still have that book, I think, with
yeah.
all the different seals drawn in it.
I might have gotten rid of it at this point.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, but yeah. So this version this translation and introduction is by Jay Priest.
Great. So why
Do
don't
you think
you?
that's short for Judas Priest?
I'm gonna ignore the fact that you said that entirely, so that we never have to address this again.
What? Huh?
Chapter 6.
Yeah, we're getting into chapter 6 then.
Then powerful kings will rise over them. Okay, so
20 metaphors here already.
what we were talking about was when the times of exposure come near.
Yeah, so I forget which era he was talking about, right? Because he was describing every major era in Jewish history, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did we already get to the exile? I know we had the
Yeah.
Exodus.
Yeah, we were at
'cause
the
he was there.
exile, and now they have in their midst judges.
Oh, this time
who-
period of the judges. Okay.
Yeah. And then powerful kings will rise over them, and they will be called priests of the Most High God. They will perform great impiety in the Holy of Holies. So this is, they will make impiety. It's a Semitism. Okay.
Sure.
And
Scream for vengeance. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
a wanton
good-
king.
Good call there.
A wanton king who will not be of a priestly family will follow them. He will be a man rash and perverse, and he will judge them as they deserve. He will shatter their leaders with the sword, and he will exterminate them in secret places so that no one will know where their bodies are.
Ruben, maybe I should take a painkiller for that burn.
I think you're on the highway to the danger zone,
Wow.
Lawrence.
Different group entirely. In fact, different person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Different thing entirely.
Yeah.
Look at
Thank you for
all the
fixing
people.
The
beautiful people. Ha ha.
amazing, right? Thank you for that, Chris.
I saw it and thought
It was pretty low. Yeah.
it's a bit low.
Yeah.
So this is actually interesting. They say he will shatter their leaders with the sword. He will exterminate them in secret places so that no one will know where their bodies are. He will kill both old and young, showing mercy to none. Now, the bulk of this chapter is almost certainly reflects the reign of Herod the Great.
Interesting. That's a big time skip.
Yeah. Precise historical details need not be expected in apocalyptic writing.
Sure, yeah. But
But
the thing is, they're
The
usually
reference to the
based.
reign of 34 years in verse 6 is decisive.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Josephus says that it's 34 years. Antiquities of the Jews 1781.
Well, good thing we have this here.
Some of the text is confused, so it's not exactly clear.
Okay. You said antiquities, right?
Antiquities of the Jews 1781.
Okay. Yeah, I can pull that up. So speaking of ancient texts, we actually got the order in from Rachel, whole bunch of books, right?
Mhm.
So we got Plutarch, histories.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for that, Rachel. Yeah. Those came in this morning. All right. So you said 1786. Sorry.
1781.
1781. Okay. Yeah. Here we go.
It should basically just note some things about the reign of Herod the Great and the length.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, concerning Herod's death and testament and burial. So let's see, skipping over a few things here. He also made provision from all the rest of his kindred by giving them sums of money and annual revenues, and so left them all in a wealthy condition. He bequeathed also to Caesar 10 millions of drachma of coined money, besides both vessels of gold and silver, and garments exceeding costly to Julia, Caesar's wife, and to certain others 5 million. When he had done these things, he died the 5th day after he had caused Antipater to be slain, having reigned, since he had procured Antigonus to be slain, 34 years. But since he had been declared king by the Romans, 37.
Well, yeah, his reign started in 37 BC. Interesting. You know, about the cringiest thing that someone could say about this, it's a prophetic text. It's talking about Hitler, where he exterminates the Jews in secret places so that no one will know where their bodies are.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Don't you love how these texts can be taken out of their context so easily?
Easily. You can do it. You can just attach stuff like this to any historical event.
Yeah, you shouldn't, but you could.
You could.
Yeah.
I guess the thing that gives it away is that length of time.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, that is spoken of. Well, I guess because if we consider the tradition of, was it the slaying of the children, right, in Matthew's gospel? Yeah, I guess it could make sense that they really did not like Herod.
No, they did not.
He sucked, apparently.
I don't think many people would like Herod.
Right, yeah.
It depends on which Herod we're talking about. This one's apparently great.
Yeah, he was great. That one was great.
Anyways, then fear of him will be heaped upon them in their land, and for 34 years he will impose judgments upon them as he did judgments upon them as did the Egyptians, and he will punish them, and he will beget heirs who will reign after him for shorter periods of time. After his death, there will come into their land a powerful king of the west who will subdue them, and he will take away captives, and a part of their temple he will burn with fire. He will crucify some of them around their city.
So would this be then? Is it from the Egyptians?
No, it says that he will impose judgments upon them as did the Egyptians.
Okay, gotcha. So is this temple destruction?
I think it's more slavery. It's just talking about Herod the Great.
Oh, it's still talking about him?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was talking about a new king, one from...
No. Now we're in chapter 7.
Okay.
When this has taken place, the times will quickly come to an end. Then there's a textual break.
Great. Well, they really did come to an end, didn't they?
Yeah, the rest of this verse...
That was immediate.
Yep. The rest of this verse and the following are badly broken. Mention is made of 4 horns, or at the 4th hour, which will come of the 9 tribes. Something to do with 3, 7, and the third part of 2. Though many attempts have been made.
3, 7, and the third part of 2.
Mm-hmm.
That third part of the number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though many attempts have been made to restore the Lacanae, this seems impossible.
Right.
We have a stock apocalyptic introduction. The times have passed, and the author is convinced that he is living in the last days. The details would, of course, be of philological, historical, and theological interest, but the Lacanae are so extensive as to render reconstructions too tenuous to be of value.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. So much of it's missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Then will rule destructive and godless men who represent themselves as being righteous, but who will, in fact, arouse their inner wrath, for they will be deceitful men, pleasing only themselves, false in every way imaginable, such as loving feasts at any hour of the day, devouring, gluttonous.
Yeah, those idiots who like to eat at any time of day. Fuck those guys.
7 lines of the text are either totally missing here or so broken as to permit no translation.
Also, once again, unfortunate. However, yeah, the feast thing, I'm guessing this...
I'd like it if you at least tried.
Tried to restore them.
I mean, just say this is an extremely tenuous restoration.
Right, but the thing is, it's also like maybe you can pick out like a word or two, and maybe one of those words is like an article, and you're like, nothing can be done here. So I totally get not even wanting to try if something is so badly damaged.
Mm.
And furthermore, yeah, on the feasts, right?
Yeah.
Very, very gluttonous people if you feast at any time of day. So these are they would be referring. Well, it would have been referring just to a different culture altogether, but it wouldn't have included like, you know, set meal times, family meal times.
No, I don't think that's what they're talking about at all.
Okay.
No.
Well, are they talking about the big feasts where you have like because you have so much stuff that you're able to even hold a banquet like that?
No, I don't think that's what they're talking about. What they're saying, this is a depiction of one of the nations.
Right.
They're a godless group of men. They're destructive. They represent themselves as being righteous, right?
Sure.
But this is definitively a group of non-believers in the Abrahamic God, right?
Sure, yeah.
And they are doing things such as eating feasts at any hour of the day, right? That's a significant thing because, first of all, the feasts are for prescribed times and religious services, which they are not respecting when they are doing that. Second of all, because God is supposed to assign the appropriate times for these things. by acting out of accordance with the will of God, right? They're ignoring the prescribed times and procedures that are supposed to be performed.
Okay, yeah. So
And
these would be like the same.
impious, godless people.
Well, they would certainly be impious, but because they are said to go around, in their words, pretending to be pious, then these could be like, well, first of all, fool reference then.
Yeah.
And this could be, not so far. I'm not saying the exact same opponents, but in the same way that, the author of Revelation is writing against these people who, he says pretend to be
Right. The
God
synagogue
of
of Satan, who say they're Jews but are not.
right.
If the Testament of Moses is written after Revelation, and
Which there is no indication of.
there's no indication of that, but if so, then some of those ideas might be reflected here, or if there's a cultural element
Exactly.
that,
The cultural element.
it bears similarity. But at the same time, they could just be referring to, like, for example, the Babylonians. They could be referring to the Romans. They could be referring to the Seleucids, right?
Sure, yeah. Although this one specifically, it'd probably be closer to some, probably closer to some Roman group than anything,
Probably.
considering the time period.
Mhm. So, continuing on here. But really, they consume the goods of the poor, saying their acts are according to justice, while in fact they're simply exterminators, deceitfully seeking to conceal themselves so that they will not be known as completely godless because of their criminal deeds committed all the day long,
Jeez.
saying, "We shall have feasts, even luxurious winnings and winings and dinings." That's a strange term to put in.
Winings and
here.
dinings.
Yeah. Luxurious winings and dinings. Indeed, we shall behave ourselves as princes. They, with hand and mind, will touch impure things, yet their mouths will speak enormous things. And they will even say, "Do not touch me, lest you pollute me in the position I occupy." Textual break.
Oh, so it's kind of like Paul's whole, like, don't boast kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, let's get into this. So the whole of this chapter is an attack on the enemies of the author and his party.
Right, yeah.
The identification of the enemies is not certain, although they are wealthy and apparently connected with the temple. Similar attacks against avaricious priesthood are found in the Qumran materials.
Like, honestly, I was one of the first things I was thinking was not like the Maccabees themselves, but would have
the
been
Hasmonean kind of.
like something in that vein, except they've, this is probably a century or two later. So they obviously changed their ways. So not like that. Yes, not specifically like that group of family or anything, but like a family that maintains that kind of position.
It reminds me of several different pieces. I think Baruch, for example, where it talks about how these idolatrous priests would be in the temple, and in secret they would be engaging in pagan ceremonies, which in the Holy of Holies, right?
Was that in Baruch?
I think it was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I barely remember Baruch at all.
There were several different passages or was that part of the Elisha story? I don't recall. It was somewhere.
Okay.
There was some story somewhere. You know what I'm talking about, where they talk about seeing this vision where there are all of these holy men, right? They're priests or Levites or something, and they, behind closed doors, are engaging in these cultic, idolatrous practices.
Man, I don't actually remember this.
Oh, we made like a huge deal about it at the time. It was in some Apocrypha, I think.
Okay. We'll have to go back and check.
And it's also a theme that pops up continually throughout, like, the kings.
Sure, yeah.
So this is like an established thing that occurs.
So yeah, like I said, I have like forgotten all of Baruch stuff. So
It's been a decade.
Well, hey, that was chapter 7. I'm gonna hand it off to you.
oh, look at that! Thank you.
And
We're definitely not shilling.
grab a little more coffee.
Sure, you can do that.
Use the restroom.
Wow. Well, see, now you're just pushing it.
I'm gonna make crepes.
You're gonna make some. Well, if you're gonna make crepes, you should bring some over here.
No.
Okay. No, just the one. He's gonna make him some latkes. Gefilte fish and latkes.
No.
Wow.
I don't even know what they are. They just sound and smelled bad when I saw them.
Wow. For Rosh Hashanah.
Crepes are fine.
And yeah, crepes are fine. I'm going to continue then with chapter 8. No, Chris is shaking his head no at me. I don't think he wants to continue. Why not? We're talking.
I mean, you could keep going if you want, but maybe I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I might just keep going then.
All right, see ya.
All right, and there will come upon them textual break.
Oh no.
Most of the first line is illegible. Many restore second in the illegible portion and then speculate about the first punishment. It appears doubtful that the precise historical... Because here's what it says, right? And there will come upon them textual break, punishment, and wrath, such as has never happened to them from the creation till that time when he stirs up against them a king of the kings of the earth, who, having supreme authority, will crucify those who confess their circumcision. So, a few things to unpack there. There are a lot of references here. So there's like Daniel 12, Matthew 24, Ezra. We got Ezekiel, another reference to Daniel in Daniel 2:37 looks like. But either way, so this completely brand new kind of destruction. So there is the textual break in there. Some people omitted to second and then speculate about the first punishment. It appears doubtful that the precise historical setting of this chapter can be discovered through any restoration. Similar allusions in other works are also inconclusive. For example, in, I believe this is the Damascus document, or it's one from Qumran. No, sorry, this is community rule. It mentions a first or former punishment, but this has been variously interpreted as an allusion to the fall of Jerusalem, the Antiochian persecution, the capture of Jerusalem by Pompey in 63, or to some otherwise unknown historical event. It seems better to assume that the author has put together many past events that he believes are about to be replicated in the end time. Which, yeah, possible, but usually when it comes to apocalyptic literature, you're talking about a specific event. Now, it could be a variety. It always could be a variety of things unless they give you more information.
The co-host will return eventually.
Great. But they will always be referencing historical events, at least from as far as I can tell.
I was just giving you prophecy.
Oh, that was prophecy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It's going to happen too.
I guess
I'd be a false prophet.
I guess we're going to have to see. Because if you're wrong...
happens to him in between whenever he gets here. And
if you're wrong, then you're a false prophet.
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
Right. So better...
I haven't been one yet.
Better not be. You potential false prophet.
No, I only make obvious prophecy, so I'm pretty safe.
So either way, yeah, this entirely new kind of destruction. There's going to be a king of kings, so we're looking at someone someone of supreme authority, right? Because they are specifically said to have supreme authority, and he will crucify those who confess their circumcision. So,
behold.
Oh, you've returned. Hello.
Yep, a true prophet.
All right, everybody.
I was right. The co-host is
Welcome
back.
to How to Make Latkes.
No.
So, okay, here's what you do. You're going to need a potato. You're going to need a pan.
Oh.
You need some oil.
Uh-oh.
Small bowl. And an egg. couple eggs maybe, and maybe some flour if you want to be that kind of guy. And so all you need to do, you take the potato, you do it like hash browns, you you get it all carved up.
Disgusting.
Right? And you flatten it into a disc. You don't need onions. Okay, if you want to be one of those people, you can use onions. All you need is the potato, right? You take the potato, you basically get it into a flat disc. You dip it in the egg, put some oil on the pan, you fry it, you flip it over, you take it off the pan. That's all you have to do.
Wow.
That's the entire process of latkes.
That sounds really difficult. Man, am I glad I don't. Really, I can only cook one thing.
How is that difficult?
So difficult. Listen, man.
It's literally like
so hard. That is so hard. That is so much work.
Onions are for people who enjoy flavor.
You know what
if
else
you might
is,
want flavor, you might add it.
You know what else is very difficult when it comes to cooking? Boiling water. Pretty difficult.
boiling water is not.
I think you're as lazy as I am in that regard.
No, it's not about laziness. This is a competence issue. If you think boiling water is difficult.
Very hard.
I can do it.
The only easy thing
Honestly, it's
to
really
do in cooking
easy,
is
Lawrence.
like
It's
make
just
burgers.
annoying.
That's the only easy thing.
Making burgers?
The easiest thing.
That's far more complex than boiling water. What are you talking about?
That's like 8 steps if you think about it, depending on like what you're doing.
Okay. I've learned one thing today, and that's that I never want to have a burger that Lawrence makes because it's probably like the most
fine.
bland, disgusting burger
no,
you've
I-
ever had.
You know how much spices I put in there?
You don't
Like
have
a bunch.
You don't. Okay.
So you're adding more steps now
Oh my
to
God.
make
Lawrence,
it
'cause
even
I want it
more
to taste
complex.
good.
Lawrence.
Okay.
Haven't I had one of yours?
Have you? I don't know.
I swear. We've been on your porch. You've barbecued or something. You grilled. I don't know.
Wait, no, I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. You're
Really,
not
I've
allowed.
never
at
had one of
Lawrence's
yours.
Yeah,
house.
you're not allowed.
It was forever ago.
Right, I wasn't making burgers then.
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah, and
Maybe I don't think I made
And
them
every
anywhere
time
else.
that I've been over to Lawrence's house, his mom just cooked for me.
Right.
That was
yeah.
decades ago.
That
So.
was like a decade ago to be
That
fair.
was. I bet she'd do it again if I showed up there right now.
No, probably not.
Not doing well.
I sincerely doubt that if I showed up at your door and your mom answered the door, that she would not offer me something.
She might, yeah. She's gonna
Yeah.
say first she would see if we have cheese, and then she'd be like, "Would you like some cheese?" And then
Yeah.
she'd cut it up, and then
I do like cheese.
They wouldn't be like individual cheeses. Like she would actually go through the trouble of cutting it up,
Yeah.
and like she would probably even grab some crackers
True,
and like
right.
do a presentation of it. Like your mom goes all out
Sure.
whenever you have anyone over there.
All out for Russian food.
yep, that's how Russians are. But the thing is, no one really asked for it.
No one asked for it.
Never.
She's never offered me borscht.
Thank goodness.
So
Lucky you.
that
Well, I think she understands that.
she understands that nobody actually likes borscht.
Right? Yeah.
You're just eating it to survive.
Exactly. Yeah. It does. It does really suck. So, anyways, the section that we're reading in the Testament of Moses, this new authority is going to come, and you'll crucify those who confess their circumcision.
Okay, so
So this seems like, kind of like a pun. Oh, it seems like a martyrdom thing. People who are very open about their covenant with God. You like borscht? Landon, get the hell out of here.
Maybe he's had a good variant.
No, keep
that
reading.
does exist somehow.
keep reading.
I don't
All right,
know
I'm gonna continue.
immediately, but it could happen.
Even those who deny it, he will torture and hand them over to be led to prison in chains. So evil dictator. But it also says he's given supreme authority. Anyways, and their wives will be given to the gods of the nations, and their young sons will be cut by physicians to bring forward their foreskins. The text of these two verses is very uncertain. The coerced participation of Jews in pagan rites is mentioned in 2 Maccabees 6. Okay. Interesting. Their wives will be given to the gods of the nations, so pagan gods, and their young sons will be cut by physicians to bring forward their foreskins. Okay. Still others among them will be punished by torture, both by fire and sword, and they will be compelled to bear publicly as burdens idols which are polluted, just as those who revere them are polluted. So, okay, so it looks like the Jews will be persecuted, is the idea here. And they're going to be forced into doing pagan things.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Christmas.
That's their first punishment. Or it could be their first punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So continuing on here. Likewise, they will be compelled by their tortures.
Bland tomato soup. Beets.
No, it's definitely not tomato soup. Yeah, it's beets. So it is beet soup. And it only tastes kind of okay once you add sour cream, and then you kind of realize, well, I just like sour cream. But the borscht is just bad.
Yeah.
It only tastes kind of okay once you add the sour cream. So
You know what we would have? Potato pancakes.
It's luck because
Yeah. With sour cream.
that would make them better. Yeah.
It's really good.
or applesauce. Put applesauce on them. I don't know why it works.
Okay.
It works.
Okay.
I've heard and had at one point applesauce mixed with oatmeal and some sort of batter to have a pancake. It's really good.
Whoa, that sounds really weird.
It is a bit weird, but then you just try it and you're like, oh, it's just apple pancake kind of. It works well, actually.
You know, it works really well, and I'm still shocked by it.
What's up?
Barbecue, and vanilla frosting.
It doesn't sound like that should.
That
It doesn't-
My stomach churned.
Right,
a
yeah,
little
I
bit.
get it. Listen, I get it. Okay, but it's delicious. All right, so if you get
All right,
yourself
man,
a
if you say
barbecue
so.
chicken pizza
Mm.
and put like vanilla frosting or icing on it, it's really good.
If you say so. I like barbecue chicken.
Right, it's delicious, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I cannot abide this, Chris.
I'm only humoring
you're
you.
you're at the helm.
Uh-huh.
Promise
Open a
it's
poll.
Oh.
Open a poll right now.
I promise it's good. Don't hate on
Okay.
it until you have tried it.
Yes or no? Is Lawrence's cuisine socially acceptable?
I never said it was socially acceptable. I'm just saying it works, okay? I'm saying that it is surprisingly good. Listen, chat, fuck off all you. You don't know. You have not tried it. It's really good.
What did you try to write there?
Is Lord's capable of discerning what food is?
I think that's a good poll. Start that poll. We're going to see who votes what. No. Yes? No.
Oh my God, no.
Someone voted yes for a second,
Oh,
and
there
then
we
they were
go.
like,
Yeah.
no. Okay. It's
Okay,
evening
okay.
out a little bit.
Listen, I promise it's not as bad as it sounds. I promise.
Vanilla frosting barbecue pizza.
It's good.
I like my word use. It was fun. Anyway,
Okay. See, Ryan knows.
we gotta move on.
This
All right.
man knows.
We're pretty split on this decision right now. If you're capable of discerning what food is.
Listen. I'm not a great chef. Okay, obviously,
You make
By
a
no means.
hamburger. You could be a Bob's Burgers.
but I swear it's really better than it sounds.
Okay.
It might not be saying much, but I was surprised that it had something good. So,
Vanilla frosted barbecue burnt ends.
I could go for that, yeah. Like, what's there not to love?
I don't know, man.
Like, vanilla is good.
I don't know.
Barbecue's good.
You're gonna put vanilla
We're
frosting
past
on your
this.
ribs.
We've got the poll up. People know.
Well, does it also have barbecue on it?
Yeah, they're ribs.
Then I might.
Okay.
Right.
Here. I got a challenge. We're
Vanilla
gonna make a
cake
video.
With
We're
barbecue.
gonna make a video.
Okay.
Where you make a burger, barbecue, bacon burger,
Okay, sure. I can do
proper,
that. Okay.
right? And then you take the top bun
Mhm.
and you just smear a bunch of vanilla frosting on it.
Okay.
And then we have Chris eat it.
Okay, no, Chris doesn't like anything.
No, he doesn't, which is why it'll be great.
That's not true. I just said a bunch of stuff that I liked.
It has to be a
Nobody
proper
listened.
burger.
It can't have flavor. That's
Proper
right.
That's
burger.
not true.
So lettuce, tomato,
No.
onion.
Sure, yeah.
I can't eat that.
Right, see?
Pickles.
See, he's not going to do that.
Just a plain cheeseburger, dude.
Yeah, lettuce
Then add
and
vanilla
tomato.
frosting and barbecue sauce.
You guys see this?
How
You
did I
say-
figure out the flavor combo? Okay,
you
good
say
question.
Lettuce and tomato, and he's like, ew, right?
Right, that's the.
That's what I hate. It's that shit that I don't like.
Okay. So I used to work at Toppers. It's a pizza place, and they had barbecue chicken pizzas, obviously.
That's fine.
But they also had like cinnamon sticks. And like
Right.
the cinnamon sticks had like vanilla frosting on them. So one day I was like, I wonder what this would taste like together. So
you worked there for like
I
4
worked there for like a
years.
year and a half. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I had the barbecue chicken pizza, and I put I drizzled like some frosting on it. I was like, this is pretty
Boiling
good.
water is difficult for you?
No, that was
I
a
think I
joke.
even remember
No,
when
it
you told
wasn't.
me about this first. See, this is why I'm not like blown away because you've told me about this before.
Okay.
I probably have, yeah.
Yeah, very likely.
Everybody dislike the video. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep reading. Okay. Either way, it seems they're getting persecuted, right? Likewise, they will be compelled by their torturers to enter into their secret place, where they will be compelled to blaspheme outrageously the word, and finally to blaspheme both their laws and what they had placed upon their own altar. It looks like
Vanilla bourbon barbecue. Frosting, no.
what? Okay, listen. I promise. I could see that, but try the frosting. Okay, I swear.
I just think that the
Just like once.
texture would be
I'm-
really
I'm-
weird.
The poll is trolling. Okay.
That's fine. It's not as weird as it sounds.
I personally don't. I'm not freaked out by it.
Lawrence is being persecuted. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. So that was the end of chapter 8. They are being forced into doing pagan rites and denouncing their god and stuff like that. Their faith. So let's hop into chapter 9. I believe chapter 9 I actually went over in a video. I think I covered this section in my Suffering Servant video because it was about martyrdom. So I think if you guys watched that video, you would recognize this part. So on to chapter 9. Then, even as he was speaking, right, so this would be Moses still. There was a man from the... Wait, would this be Moses? It's in quotes.
It's narrator.
Moses is the one who was delivering the
Right, I
speech.
know that. But the section, then even as he was speaking, there was a man from the tribe of Levi whose name is Taxo.
Sounds like narrator.
Right,
Yeah.
but so who would Moses be referring to? If that's in quotes, who would Moses be referring to?
You know just as well as I do that the quotes are tentative.
Yeah, I guess. It's ridiculous. So then,
We
even
continue reading. Here we are.
as though he was speaking, it's usually amended to "in that day," and this may well be correct. The translation adopted here presupposes that chapter 9 is part of an originally independent document that refers to someone not mentioned in the present text.
Interesting presupposition.
Well, it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
You'll see.
We are missing Tomer. I wonder what weird food stuff Tomer.
He probably
has.
loves like matzah.
Okay.
Homer was here.
He was earlier.
And
If
he's in
Tomer
Discord
is
now.
out there and he wants to confirm that he loves matzah. Okay.
Get in here.
I don't think he does. I don't think anyone does. Who does?
I've had matzah that's tolerable.
Two
Yeah,
people.
but have you ever met anyone who loves matzah?
Yes, very religious Jews
All right.
and contrarians.
who are insincere.
Yeah, people who are insincere liars.
People who are lying.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because this is an entirely separate story right here. So there's probably a good precedent to say this is probably from a different source.
And it's a very different sense.
Right. Yeah. So because
by
there
the
was
way,
a section.
guys, here's another one of those things that makes me realize. Oh yeah, my grandmother had potato pancakes as a recipe, but she refused to call it latke. Of course, there's another dead giveaway that my family was probably Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because they make it in the exact same style that you're thinking.
Sure.
There's not really many ways that you can make it.
Right. Yeah. You would. Yeah. Like how many possible ways?
I don't know. I used to peel potatoes for this. I just remember that.
Sure.
So.
There are also not very many ways to screw it up, but
Right.
I guess you could burn it.
That's it.
Or you could like cut the
Undercook it.
potato poorly.
Yeah. Peel the
Just
potato.
like throw in huge chunks of potato.
Leave green pieces of potato in. It tastes bad when you cook them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue. So as he was speaking, there
Grilled cheese with strawberry jelly.
I don't even know if that's
I'll have
bad
to
either.
try that.
That doesn't sound terrible.
See, I would be willing to try that.
It depends.
Again, that's not outside of my palate range.
It depends on the jelly.
Neither
Are we
was
talking
fries,
about
ice cream?
Are we talking about
up.
like just like textureless, just straight up like jello jelly kind of texture?
I would be guessing.
Are we talking about like preserves where it's like
Where it's like really thick.
Are we saying that the gel gets warmed up too?
yeah,
is
is
it
it like melting into the
hopefully
bread?
not.
I don't. It might be good.
I guess it might
Might be like a tart.
It might be.
So you have like a strawberry jelly glaze
Sure, yeah.
over, but then it would be difficult to handle. And how are you going to dip it in your tomato soup?
This is what happens when white people talk about food.
Too much, guys. Too much.
Yeah. So I am going to continue though.
German stone ground mustard on grilled cheese.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that could be good.
Even as I was
don't like
speaking,
mustard.
there will be a man from the tribe of Levi whose name is Taxo. He, having 7 sons, this is going to sound familiar to you,
Ah, you mean the 7 sons who were the martyrs in the second Maccabees?
basically. Close though. Will speak earnestly to them. See, my sons, behold!
Behold!
A second punishment has befallen the people. Cruel, impure, going beyond all bounds of mercy, even exceeding the former one, for which nation or which province or which people who have all done many crimes against the Lord have suffered such evils as have covered us. Now, therefore, sons, heed me. If you investigate, you will surely know that never did our fathers nor their ancestors tempt God by transgressing his commandments.
What? Did they not read the Bible?
The assertion of sinlessness seems out of place in the work and may support the view that the chapter had an independent origin. Consistency, however, is not a characteristic of apocalyptic writing.
Wait. So, what is?
He's claiming that their ancestors were sinless.
What ancestors are he referring to?
Remember, if this came from a different text altogether, we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
If it came from a different text altogether. But where would the claim even make sense?
I don't.
I think the Melchizedek priesthood?
Maybe, but at this,
That's it.
the thing is, but then where would, I guess the martyrology would kind of make sense there too, right? But it could be where, instead of, doing the opposite thing of criticizing your ancestors, they would glorify them. So they're literally just, I guess, lying.
Well, it's like how in Jubilees they overlooked any negative things.
Oh, there's also in God, what text that was that in Hebrews, where Paul, not Paul, where the author is talking about all the great all of the great ancestors of Jews.
Mm-hmm.
I think was that in Hebrews? I forget which book that was in, but it was like a Hall of Fame basically. I remember I had to translate that for Greek.
Mhm.
Either way, it's interesting there. So that's just wrong.
How do Greek names work? Do they have meanings?
Sometimes.
That must be really annoying when you're translating.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then he who walks with stars said to the riverboat man.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So and then parsing it out is can be difficult too. But usually I'm not gonna say all the time because it's not all the time. But usually names also don't decline, which means they don't change cases. So you would have them in like whatever position basically, and the name would be the same.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one indicator. So, continuing on. But like I said, not perfect. So, yea, you will surely know that this is our strength. Here is what we shall do. We shall fast for a 3-day period, and on the 4th day we shall go into a cave, which is in the open country. There
Sounds like a couple of things. First, it sounds like the Maccabean situation where they went into caves.
Yes, it does.
But second, it sounds
specifically
like
talks
a
about them.
Merkaba situation where
Right.
they would engage in ritual fasting and then they would go into ritual isolation in order to elicit mystical experiences. Right? And this would have been a firmly established tradition by the time this book was written.
Right, yeah. There is wasn't Merkaba stuff in the like the 12th or 11th centuries CE?
Oh, you're thinking about some of the more
Oh.
contemporary Kabbalah.
Yeah, that's
The
what I'm thinking of.
Merkaba
Yeah, sorry.
stuff is very early.
I'm
like
mixing
the
up-
Hekkelot literature is Merkaba stuff.
Yeah, I'm mixing up with Kabbalah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
But also Kabbalah has a completely separate system. When we talk about like modern Kabbalah, like Hermetic Kabbalah, right? We're basically talking about a system that derives its ideas from the Zohar. And the Zohar is a medieval manuscript, right? But if we're talking about the broader trend of Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism as like recognized currently by like rabbis and stuff.
sure, yeah.
Then we can include things that are more expansive, things like Sefer Yetzirah, and these are much, much older texts. So, I mean, theoretically, it could be much, much older than that. It just depends on what you consider to be Kabbalah.
Yeah, it is. But I would think that like the I guess the most proper origins would be later on. There was a book by Gershom Schlom that discusses the origins of Kabbalah, and it was quite good. So, let's see. Where is it? Yeah. So they're gonna go off into this cave, which is in the open country. There let us die rather than transgress the commandments of the Lord of Lords, the God of our fathers. For if we do this and do die, our blood will be avenged before the Lord. So, yep, martyrdom. Then, I think, where is it here? Yes, then his kingdom will appear throughout his whole creation. Then the devil will have an end. We're on to chapter 10 now.
Oh my
just
God.
just started chapter 10.
Dude, you know,
That's not the last chapter of the day.
No, it isn't.
We're going to 12.
Yeah. Yes, then his kingdom will appear throughout his whole creation. Then the devil will have an end. Yea, sorrow will be led away with him.
So I want to point out that this is not a prose section. This is a poetic section.
It is poetic. Yeah.
So when they're talking about the devil will have an end, that's not necessarily a literal presentation, right? They're talking about the end of sorrow.
or
right?
the end of his rule on earth, right?
Right? That which is represented by the devil,
Yes.
right? That is like sin and deceitfulness and so on and so forth, right? That would come to an end.
Right.
They could also have a literalist interpretation, right? They could literally be saying that God's going to kill the devil.
True. That would be a lot cooler.
And that's kind of what's supposed to happen to the Watchers.
Well, they get thrown into like either Sheol, right, or the edges of the universe.
No.
Right, because they get thrown to the edges of the universe, right?
Yeah, they get thrown to their own separate section where they're in the dark until the day of judgment,
right.
at which point they will be destroyed.
Okay.
So that was the thing for them, because they were made into, I mean, functionally mortals. They're not mortal beings, but they will be killed.
Yeah. Then will be filled the hands of the messenger who is in the highest place appointed. Yea, he will at once avenge them of their enemies. Filling the hands is a technical term for ordination to the priesthood. The messenger, usually identified as Michael, the guardian angel, is here more a warrior than a priest. There's an interesting parallel in 11Q Melchizedek. We don't have that.
No. Christ brings a sword.
Right, yeah. Where Melchizedek, a heavenly priest, works vengeance against Belial. Some later Jewish sources identify Michael and Melchizedek, but there is no evidence for this identification in the time of the Testament of Moses. Interesting. For the heavenly one will arise from his kingly throne. Yea, he will go forth from his holy habitation, will with indignation and wrath on behalf of his sons. And the earth will tremble, even to its ends shall it be shaken, and the high mountains will be made low. Yea, they will be shaken, as enclosed valleys they will fall. The sun will not give light, and in darkness the horns of the moon will flee.
This sounds like... You know what? Moses is talking to Joshua right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And this sounds like what happens with Joshua.
Well, if the sun stays lit for them, like the day is made long.
It stays lit, but they're describing a similar phenomenon, right? They're describing celestial bodies doing aberrant behaviors, right? That are controlled by otherworldly forces, right? I don't know. It's not a super common image.
Well, here. Let's for more context here. So yeah, the sun will not give light, and in darkness the horns of the moon will flee. Yea, they will be broken in pieces. So the horns of the moon will be broken in pieces. It will be turned wholly into blood. Yea, even the circle of the stars will be thrown into disarray. So the circle of the stars, that probably, okay.
Zodiac.
Not exactly.
Some kind
So this is actually what I've been working on a video for this.
Okay.
So I've been working on a video for biblical cosmic geography, how they had the universe. So they had the circle of the earth, which was flat to them, and then above it they had like a heavenly plane, right? So like that the rest of it they called the circle. It's like there was a circle of the earth, and then directly above it was a circle of the heavens. So this would be, in fact, all the stars in the heavenly sphere.
Where does the firmament come in?
This one is where it gets kind of weird. So you can have like the firmament being set on the top of mountains, or being held up by the mountains, and then like like the sphere, or sorry, the circle of the stars above that, separating the sky, our sky, from like the actual like heavens, or it could be that the circle of the stars literally just meant the firmament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah counter? I don't think we can do a yeah counter.
No, well, it would be because the thing is, this is really the most often we've seen yays, right?
Yay.
But they're in there. So, So this is the stars falling thing. Wasn't that in Revelation? About the stars falling?
Does the sky fall in
I think it does.
Revelation?
I forget which chapter. It's a later chapter. Right, yeah. Sorry, spoilers. It's not like the book has been out for thousands of years.
No, our audience doesn't know that.
No, right, yeah. You guys are dum-dums.
Mm-hmm.
So
just wait till we get to the prequel.
Yeah, to the prequel. So this might be a reference to the same kind of apocalyptic idea then. Would just be, I think. But I'm still not sure about the horns of the moon.
They're probably just referring to light beams.
Yeah,
Like when they refer to the
sense, right?
horns that Moses has.
Right,
in the,
yeah, where it's just actually his face is glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it could just be that issue. And the sea all the way to the abyss will retire to the sources of water which fail. Yea, the rivers will vanish away. When it says go back to the sources, it's because they believe that the water itself came from those cosmic mountains at the end.
Can you read that previous sentence?
And the sea, the one that starts that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the sea all the way to the abyss will retire to the sources of water which fail.
So the cosmology is all messed up because in the beginning there was darkness on the face of the deep, and the earth was empty and void except for the water. Right? When we look at the abyss conceptually, it's basically the depths of the ocean in the same way that Sheol is basically underground.
We also have to remember Tiamat.
Yes, Tiamat. I was going to go into that. So Tiamat and Abzu being these primordial chaos water bodies.
Mm-hmm.
When they talk about the oceans retiring to the abyss and the origins of the waters, right?
It's because they believed in literal like springs from the abyss that the waters came out of.
It springs from the abyss that the waters came out of. But this would be
this was thought to be like the source of like all the rivers in the oceans, like in Babylon. So.
Right. But this would be unprecedented, right? Because those aren't things that are subject to God, right? It doesn't start off in the beginning. God created the abyss, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's already there.
Yeah.
So this would be something that is not subject to him, which has been established to be totally separate, and from which unexplained things come, like the Leviathan.
Well, the thing is, at this point in time,
Leviathan is made to be food, to be clear, but there's like other weird stuff going on with the ocean in general.
I would say that at this time they would have lost that the knowledge that their creation myth had ties to that theology. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, back when Genesis would have been written, they would have recognized that it was a retelling of Babylonian mythology. But yeah, after centuries, they probably would have lost that connection and just been like, I guess this is just how it was done, and he controls that too, because he's all powerful. So
it's weird. It's a different cosmology, definitely.
It is, yeah.
I think it depends more on earlier ones.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
For God Most High will surge forth, the Eternal One alone. In full view will he come to work vengeance on the nations. Yea, all their idols will he destroy. Then will you be happy, O Israel, and you will mount above the necks and the wings of an eagle. All the things that will be fulfilled. Okay, this is actually sharing a lot of similarities to Babylonian stuff. So while it says that the meaning of the verse is not clear, you know what this reminds me of?
What? Lord of the Rings?
No.
How Frodo and Sam fly on the backs of the eagles
I guess,
when they're saved from Mordor?
I guess, yeah.
And could have done
The
that
reference may
whole
be
time.
to the extermination of Israel's enemies, in which case the appropriate translation would be, you will arise upon the necks and wings of the eagle, and they will be brought to an end. One might see then an allusion to Joshua 10:24 or 1 QM 12:11. The alternative is attractive, especially if the allusion is to the eagle of Rome. See, I was thinking more when
Daniel?
Hmm?
Daniel?
I mean,
And
like,
the winged beast?
but he didn't go on a winged eagle, did he?
No,
I don't think he went on one.
No,
Was-
he saw one with 7 heads.
No, that was
Apocalypse of Abraham. Apocalypse of Abraham.
yeah. He ascended that
he
way.
literally
just
surfs
went up
up
on the back
on
of birds.
the back of a bird.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, regular sized
That's what-
birds though.
Yeah. But this guy,
Yeah. The Apocalypse of Abraham was literally like he had 2 birds, like one underneath each foot.
I was
Just so
thinking
you
how
know.
stupid it looked.
how do you think? Was it Gilgamesh
Mm.
that went up into heaven? I think he went on a bird. He went on an eagle, and it like took him higher and higher until everything got smaller and smaller. And he was like, "Okay, put me down." That was getting to heaven on birds, very common form of transportation to heaven
Mm-hmm.
in the ancient Near East.
Wonder why they thought birds could do that. Maybe it's because they can fly.
Yeah, maybe. And God will raise you to the heights. Yea, he will fix you firmly in the heaven of the stars, in the place of their habitations. And you will behold.
Behold.
Oh,
Look at Chunkomatic's note here. Translation I'm looking at is different. Reference to the horns of the sun rather than to the moon.
it's glowing.
I don't know, because there's no textual note, and we
So
don't have
weird.
an original. So
Mm-hmm.
at least I don't have access to one here. So continuing on. And you will behold from on high. Yea, you will see your enemies on the earth. And recognizing them, you will rejoice, and you will give thanks. Yea, you will confess your Creator. But you, Joshua, son of Nun, keep these words and this book, for from my death and burial until his coming there will pass 250 times. And this is the course. 3 to 5 letters are lost. And this is the course blank times. It looks like... Oh, okay. It looks like just the Latin is hours of moments. Which will come until they be completed. However, I shall be asleep with my fathers. Therefore, you, Joshua, son of Nun, be strong, for God has chosen you to be my successor in the same covenant. That's the end of chapter 10.
Yeah.
We're definitely not telling you to drop a like
Don't do anything.
or make sure to subscribe or
Stop.
share. Don't do that.
Dislike.
Don't do those
Dislike.
things.
Because the dislike gets us more reach. Take those likes, switch them over to dislikes. It's better for our
Shove
channel.
them up your ass. Okay. Let's continue on though without shilling anything to chapter 11.
Do it.
So here we have the tradition that because the Torah talks about the death of Moses,
Yes, it does.
some traditions say that
That Joshua was the one who wrote it,
was the
right?
one who wrote it.
But then another one says like, oh well, he wrote it with a tear in his eye. He was crying.
Mhm. But here Moses directly tells Joshua like, "Hey, I'm gonna die. This is gonna happen.
Can you keep
Then-
this stuff around for me, please?
Yeah, you're going to be doing this." So, chapter 11. And when Joshua heard the words of Moses, so written in his testament all the things which he had said. He tore his garments and fell at Moses' feet. This typical grieving
Yes, it is.
imagery. And Moses, though he wept with him, encouraged him. And Joshua replied to him, saying, "Why do you console me, Master Moses? And in what way may I be consoled concerning that bitter message spoken, which has gone forth from your mouth, a message full of tears and sobbings? Because you're departing from this people." 5 to 7 letters are lost.
Classic.
"What place will receive you? Or where will be the marker of your sepulcher? Or who, as a man, will dare to move your body from place to place? For all who die, there are appropriately their sepulchres in the earth. But your sepulcher is from the rising to the setting of the sun, and from the south to the limits of the north. The whole world is your sepulcher."
So that's hilarious, copium. But it's interesting. So the suggestion there is that his body is still in the same place, or at least at the time this would have been written.
Yeah, that would be the suggestion.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're also going to as far as to say your sepulcher is the whole earth. That's yeah, okay. In other words, we couldn't find his body after trying, so the whole place.
Well, that could be it, but I think the what they're pointing to is that, like, what is the purpose of sepulcher, right? Besides to house that body, right?
Well, I mean, it could be for worship reasons, right?
For worship,
And,
for memorial,
yep.
for veneration. So when he says the whole world is your sepulcher,
Yeah. Look at the trees. Every single thing is you can be
like
you can be
literally
praised
everything is in praise of Moses.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting take. Yeah.
Now, Master, you're going away, and who will sustain this people, or who will have compassion on them, and who will be for them a leader on their way, or who will pray for them, not omitting a single day, so that I might lead
jackass.
them into the land
Why'd
of their
you do that?
I
forefathers."
didn't mean to.
Had to be straight up on there. I was waiting specifically until he started reading for me to yawn, and then he started reading. So I was like, "Oh, he'll switch it over," but no, he switched it over to me. So the only thing they fucking saw was me yawning.
Wow. Incredible.
I think it's funny in retrospect, but I did not intend to do that.
This is character assassination.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm really look. Most people think you know what food is. Okay, come on. I would
Technically, most people. Yes.
Technically, most. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, we'll pray for them, not omitting a single day, so that I might lead them into the land of their forefathers. How, therefore, can I be a guardian of this people, as a father is to his only son, or as a mother is to her virgin daughter who is being prepared to be given to a husband?
Yep. All
Okay.
right.
A mother who is disquieted.
See, that is how you know that this was, just like ingrained in the culture.
You just wait.
Oh,
A
okay.
mother who is disquieted, guarding the daughter's body from the sun, and seeing to it that the daughter's feet are not without shoes when she runs on the ground. There's a question mark there. 5 to 7 letters are lost. Can I be responsible for food for them that desire and drink according to their will?
Wait. So that skipped like a whole thing.
Yeah, it did
What?
skip like a whole thing, right? So they're talking about this virgin daughter, and then he just keeps going with that for a minute, and he's like, and she's being prepared for her eventual husband,
Right, yep.
And the mom's taking good care of her,
And then she dies.
she's giving her shoes, and she's making sure that she runs around, because this is obviously a child who is
Sure,
running
yeah.
around without
But
shoes,
then something about the
being
brother?
prepared for her husband.
Okay.
And it just keeps going with that. That's kind of gross. Like,
Wait, hold on. Look, hold on. Give me that. I want to maybe. Okay, I'm just gonna reread it. Where is it? Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, okay. So, how can I be a guardian of this people as a father is to his only son, or as a mother is to her virgin daughter who is being prepared to be given to a husband? A mother who is disquieted, guarding the daughter's body from the sun. That being, okay, that's where
Exposure.
from the actual sun in the sky, not
Right.
because I was reading sun as in SON, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, what they're talking about is like in Sirach when he says not to put your daughter in a front-facing bedroom because it'll expose her to the elements, right? It's referring to keeping the daughters hidden away so that they will be pure for their husbands.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, they add in the detail that the daughter is also so young that she's running around without shoes on and needs her mom to tell her to keep shoes on. So while they're talking about her sexual purity and reserving her for her husband, at
Right,
this point is a little disgusting.
Right.
honestly.
I think one of the things is like if to make this a little less creepy, it might be more of like, oh, like in the same way that, a parent today raises somebody in like, you don't have like a specific person in mind, when like you're raising a kid and eventually like they're going to go off and get married at some point, right? Like a lot of parents like hope for that sort of thing in the future to a non-specific person. So this might be that case, but the fact that they are saying that this is specifically for the preparation of something sexual later, even in that case, is still creepy, but that speaks more to the culture than anything else, I think. How it was just kind of like assumed that all preparation that like a mother does, or all the raising that a mother does of her child would be for some future husband. Yeah.
Because she's property being given to.
Right, yeah. So I don't, maybe they didn't have like a specific person in mind here, but yeah.
Something was pointed out to me the other day. It occurred to me that monarchs don't pick the best kid, just the oldest one.
Depends on where you are.
In most cases.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, it is dependent on your oldest child. Or
isn't that the stupidest thing?
It is dumb. Yes.
Like, if you're gonna have monarchs,
you're the
pick
first one,
the most competent child.
The thing is, they have different ways, right? So, like,
I mean, this has happened historically where they go, well, Donnie didn't get all the good genes, so
So we're gonna lead a peasant rebellion, kill that guy, and install this one instead. That's usually what
we're
happens.
gonna install his brother instead.
Yeah,
with the peasant rebellion.
There's also the option of, I had a lot of kids and I can't decide between any of them, so I'm going to let the people do it. So, like sometimes it would be put to a vote between the sons. I think that's what happened in Macedon. I think that's how Macedonians did it.
Weird, man.
Okay.
It's at least slightly less corrupt.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's still annoyingly familiar.
Gonna be so mad when I open Discord. What the fuck did you do? I'm opening it right now.
What have you done?
Yeah, what have you done? Let's see.
What have you become?
Oh, you fucking bitch.
What? What'd you do?
Nothing good.
She screen capped him in the
Yawn.
peak of the yawn, but his hands also like this, so he's like,
yeah, it doesn't look amazing. Actually, you know what? It does look amazing. Anyone would be proud to have my mouth on their dick. So you know what?
Wow, okay. No thanks.
yeah. Anyways, speaking of corruption, 6 to 8 letters are lost. For there were 100,000 of them, but they have by your prayers increased so much, Master Moses. And what wisdom and intelligence do I have, either to judge or give an opinion in the house? 5 to 7 letters are lost. Moreover, when the kings of the Amorites hear of your death, believing that there is no longer with us that sacred spirit worthy of the Lord, manifold and incomprehensible, master of leaders, faithful in all things, the divine prophet for the whole earth, the perfect teacher in the world. Now, believing that they can storm us, they will say, let us go up against them. If the enemies have, up till now, but a single time acted impiously against their Lord, there's now no advocate for them who bear messages to the Lord in their behalf in the way that Moses was the great messenger. He, in every hour, both day and night, had his knees fixed to the earth, praying and looking steadfastly toward him who governs the whole earth with mercy and justice, reminding the Lord of the ancestral covenant and the resolute oath. Thus they will say, he is no longer with them. Therefore let us go up and crush them from the face of the earth. What then will happen to these people, Master Moses? Good question.
Good question. Yeah, are we gonna find out soon?
There's not really a lot to say about that chapter.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have
It's
much.
basically praise of Moses and pointing out that once their leader is gone, they have some level of weakness, either real or just perceived,
Right.
that their enemies will try to take some advantage of. So, continuing on. Chapter 12. And when he had finished speaking these words, Joshua again fell at the feet of Moses. And Moses grasped his hand and raised him to the seat before him. And responding to him, he said, Joshua, do not demean yourself.
Oh, dear God.
But free yourself from... I'm not going to... Yeah. But free yourself from care and pay attention to my words. God has created all the nations which are in the world, just as he created us. And he has foreseen both them and us from the beginning of creation of the world, even to the end of the age. Indeed, nothing, to the least thing, has been overlooked by him. But rather, he has seen all things, and he is the cause of all.
So,
Textual break.
The section on I think it was kind of somewhere in the middle of that. I had a note on it, real quick one. It was right before, from the, everything from like nothing he's looked over. Oh, right. The nations he created and looked over the nations too, right? So while that is, of course, assumed in many biblical texts, the fact is he also set them against each other quite often.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, remember the time he sent the Babylonians to destroy the Jews? Yeah, I remember that.
And the Syrians.
That too. They were all there for God's judgment.
And
But then later they got judged for doing that.
And the Seleucids.
Yeah.
And the Romans.
Right.
And the Greeks.
Yes.
And the Macedonians.
Also, yes, eventually.
So, really, just everyone around them.
Yeah. Real bummer. Being stuck in the middle there.
Like, it's inevitable when you're a small desert tribe, you're going to run into problems with other people. It's going to happen.
And that all those fucking world powers at the time, geez, they had a lot to deal with.
Well, why would those world powers let people not pay them taxes? They wouldn't. So that's what it comes down to. Follow the money. Anyways, textual break has seen beforehand all the things which may come to be in the world, and behold, they have come to pass. 12 to 18 letters are lost. Established me for them, and their sins 11 to 17 letters are lost, and 4 to 7 letters are lost on their behalf.
Ha! Hide those yawns, Lawrence.
I was actually looking at Unagi's comic because I was like, what the fuck? What is happening right now? I was trying to follow the conversation, but there was no conversation before that. So I have no idea.
So the text is too broken to allow for reconstruction. The sense of the verse might be, it's the Lord who has established me as a mediator for them, that I might pray unceasingly for their sins and make intercession on their behalf. That's what it might be.
Sure.
not necessarily useful. And so broken. Yet this is not on account of either my strength or weakness. It is simply that his mercies and long sufferings have lighted on me. Likewise, I say to you, Joshua, that it is not on account of the piety of this people that you will drive out the nations. All of the supports of the canopy of heaven, created and declared good by God, are indeed under the ring of his right hand. Latin
Interesting.
nullo.
The ring of his right hand. Instead of just his right hand, it's the ring of his right hand.
Hold on, because where it says the ring, this is Latin nullo, by nothing. The translation adopts an emendation to read annullo, ring. But it could be by nothing. And if it were by nothing, then, oh, jeez, where the hell is this?
So it'd be by nothing of his
Are
right
indeed
hand?
under nothing of his right hand.
So they wouldn't be under his right hand is what that sounds like.
Right. It would be created and declared good. So the sense would be something.
Well, yeah, it would be a signet ring, sure, but like what? Because usually when you're talking about divine power and giving over divine power, or saying someone is, divinely entrusted, you say that they are at the right hand of the Lord, or you could say under the right hand of the Lord. You usually don't say under the ring of their right hand.
Yeah, that's weird phrasing.
Right, because if you instead said under the nothing of his right hand.
Sorry. Who's being under this ring?
Everything. All of the supports of the canopy of heaven created and declared good by God.
Okay, I'm going to throw out a guess. It's a lesser order of creation than it would be something in the middle, right? So there would be the one. Oh, Michael. Michael was at the right hand of God, right? In an earlier part of the text, did it say he was at his right hand? Go back, flip to the next page. Well, it may have been part from that was earlier, right? Like when it starts talking about, I think was it in that poem where it started talking about Michael and Satan being destroyed. I would think.
That's.
It didn't say anything about the right hand. It may not have.
Doesn't say anything about the right hand.
Okay. So yeah, could be something else then. Maybe this is an indication that this was a Jesus thing. This was after Jesus, maybe.
It could be,
I don't
but
know.
being on the right hands is.
I know it's a motif from everywhere, right?
Yeah,
So it could be referencing something entirely different.
Could be something unrelated.
Well, we live in the right-handed chiral universe. He's got his left-handed chiral universe under his left-handed ring.
What's more interesting is that it literally says by nothing of his right hand, but they had to amend it to say under the ring of his right hand. Right. And I'm just thinking about how that could be translated differently, right? You could say the supports of the canopy of heaven created and declared good by God are made nothing by his right hand.
So in comparison to?
Yeah, it could be a comparison.
So that they are meaningless in comparison to what will be?
That could be a way that you could, maybe. But it's hard. I don't speak the language.
Me neither.
That makes it much more difficult to translate.
Yes, it does.
Yes. I tried to do some Greek the other day.
Oh, did you? How did that go?
Yeah, so...
Wait, where were you doing it on?
I was in a discussion about the purpose behind the decision of the Tower of Babel, right?
The decision of the Tower of Babel?
Yeah, the decision of God to destroy the tower and scatter
sure.
the peoples, right? And I was referring to the Septuagint because I think it's more reliable than the Masoretic, frankly.
Okay. It's pretty 50-50 on that one, honestly.
It's pretty 50-50, but I was relying on the Septuagint, and there's a part in it where they say... let us. It says they're building a tower or something. If they accomplish this, then there is nothing that they will not be able to. They will be able to accomplish all things. Therefore, let us do something about it, right? And my point was that I think that the purpose behind it is to have this consistent characterization that God has in Genesis of not wanting humans to accomplish all that they potentially could. I think that's a major aspect of even the apocryphal and pseudepigraphal literature that surrounds the Genesis story, especially the Enoch stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Because people, the angels were thrown away for like teaching them metallurgy and shit. Yeah.
Right. Whereas the person I was talking to was arguing that because in the Noahide laws, he commands the descendants of Moses to go out and fill the earth.
Right, yeah.
In the Tower of Babel story, it says that the whole of the earth had come to one habitation, right? That they were all together in one nation, speaking one language, and they were building this tower. I hadn't remembered that, but it is part of the story. And so
that everyone from everywhere? I remember that there were people from every place, but I didn't interpret it as everyone from every place.
I looked at a few different translations, and it seemed like it was everyone.
Yeah.
Right? So his argument was that it was not God trying to prevent them from accomplishing this task because there's no commandment against building tall buildings, right? It's punishing them for not making good on the covenant that he had with Noah and Noah's descendants to fill the entire earth. Because they were...
before you go up, you need to fill everything else? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
So
I think that my explanation was more reasonable.
We reconnected. Okay, we disconnected for a second. Are we still here?
That was interesting.
Did not even register that on the frame.
I don't know how much
probably not
time we lost, but we're still here. Okay.
Basically, I just looked into the Greek to see what term was used for like the anything that they might accomplish, and it was literally
was it like a form of pas or pasa upon?
I don't recall exactly. I think it started with pi.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
that's probably it. Yeah. But the thing is that that could be each or everything, everyone. It is encompassing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was central to my argument that it's a consistent character trait that God has in Genesis.
Although the thing is, they would have been building it in the ancient world, or sorry, the author would have been thinking of they're trying to get God to come down.
It'd be a ziggurat.
Yeah, because it's specifically based off of the ziggurat. So that was the idea in the ancient Near East. So the author writing it was also thinking that the people in his story wanted God to come down instead of them trying to go up.
Okay, let me continue on here. There's so much missing.
As is tradition.
Yet this is not on account of either my strength or my weakness. It is simply that his mercies, long-suffering, have lighted on me. Okay, I was further ahead than that. The ring of his right hand. Therefore, those who truly fulfill the commandments of God will flourish and will find the good way, but those who sin disregarding the commandments will deprive themselves of the good things which were declared before. They indeed will be punished by the nations with many tortures, but it is not possible for the nations to drive them out or extinguish them completely, for God has foreseen all things in the world will go forth in his covenant, which was established, and by the oath which textual break manuscript ends.
Wow. By the oath which nothing.
That's like
bummer.
The most blue ball way to end an episode.
Yeah. That is accurate.
Down. You could fill it in yourself. Thanks.
Yep, that's the end of the.
Actually, you know what? In the comments of this video, you know what you should do? You should, so not in the live chat, in the comments section once it goes live, you write an ending to the Testament of Moses.
Yeah.
And we have had that thing for
Ahikar.
Yeah, for Ahikar.
Nobody ever did it.
No, but if you go back and watch our episodes on the story of Ahikar, that manuscript, it also doesn't end, or at least we don't have the ending of the story. So we wanted people to write like endings of that story, and we were going to read a few of them.
So,
but it's a really interesting story, I think. Yeah.
So, final thoughts on this book. It's something. It is
kind of
broken,
disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure it's all even the same book.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's not hot garbage.
But it isn't not garbage either.
Yeah. I'm gonna give
very
it
average book, honestly.
No, I'm not even gonna give it average because of how choppy it is and disjointed. It's like
that is true.
I'll give it like a 3.
Oof,
I give it like a 4 because I think there was enough, like there's some interesting stuff in there pulling it theologically and
well, last
historically.
time we read it wasn't as bad as this time.
No, we read the Apocalypse of Moses.
No. This was part 2, wasn't it? 'Cause
No.
it's chapter 6 through 12.
Yeah.
Oh, is the last episode? Okay, I thought you meant the last.
No, the last
book. Okay.
episode was more typical apocalypse stuff.
Yep.
Right. This
had some pretty. This had some
Major
pretty
gaps,
typical apocalypse
though.
stuff.
Yeah.
This one had more gaps than last time.
It did, yeah.
The thing is, it's potentially interesting as a view of Jewish apocalypticism.
Yeah.
Right. But it's so broken and the details are so sparse. And the references are
some of them are pretty vague. Yeah.
pretty vague, and the ones that aren't vague are so obvious. It's I just don't think it's very well written. Now,
Huzzah!
yes, most
I am
people
capable of discerning what food is.
And somehow we have a missing percentage.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Huh. Neat. All right.
Yeah, 1%, nothing.
Does it round down?
I don't know.
So it'll be like 0.5 and 0.5, but each one is rounded down.
Are you doing Japanese
Voter
now?
fraud. Got to do a recount. We'll do it next week.
Because watashi wa daigaku de 2年に日本語を勉強しました. That's your.
I have no idea what's happening. I hope you didn't just do a racism.
No.
Okay, good.
No, I said a sentence in Japanese.
Okay, good. But either way, yeah, my guess is it's a rounding error.
You're a rounding error.
Thank you.
Okay, Sunday.
Yeah, well, let's see you Sunday. We're definitely not shilling.
Yep,
Definitely no
Sunday.
links.
Bye.
See you guys.